Right, so I've dismantled, I've took it, the covers off, I've shoved them over there, including the screws. Everything's been marked alphabetically going that way. They're all marked and they show where they go. And then certain ones I've got a mark in the back, shows where they start. You can start it there, you can start that one up and then work your way that way. You start this one up and go that way, wherever, whichever way. Put your marks on, doesn't matter, nobody's ever going to see them. They're all inside there, they're all going to get hidden away. Right, this walls were never straight, nothing square, nothing in there. Holes and gaps everywhere, so I've filled up as much as I can with this, the plasterboard, the thicker stuff. That's fiberglass face stuff. But once you use, you know, dab and daub and stuff when you can't be bothered to do work properly, that's what you use. Right, so this is what I was saying, where the pipes come up through the floor. There, and if you look carefully, you can just see the face of the beam. They're touching the face of the beam. You know, minus the gap for the, you can just see the face of the beam, minus the gap for the insulation. It's all fully insulated. These will all be fully insulated. So what I did, because I moved the radiator, it used to come up here, look. It used to come up there. The radiator were up here. That used to be the going to the radiator there. I cut the pipe off and I put these in. I don't use push fits. I want to save the integrity of my house, and I don't care who makes them and what they say. I don't trust them. Something that's not I can't physically tighten down, I will not trust it. I don't use push fit. I use a real solid. I pay the cash and it's solid. If it fails, it's my fault. It's not the fault of the fitting, it's my fault. I did something wrong, and I don't do something wrong, you know, I'll make sure this will all be fully secure, and I'll fill this radiator is not going to be connected, it's going to be disconnected. That's why I'm putting taps in. This wall's going to take me longer than I estimated to finish. So what I'm doing now, I'm tightening all of them from over there till I get to here. I'm going to take that off. No, I'm going to take it off over there, cut this one and put the tap there. This one, I'm going to put the tap right there so that I can have the tap there. I'm going to replace, I might extend it, I don't know yet. I might extend it tiny. I can only move inside that bracket piece in there. It's only that 100mm long, so you can only get a bit of length. You might be able to move it like, you know, 2 centimetres or 3 centimetres, which is just what I need for the socket. I have this. After learning over time, all my plumbing fittings were going all over the place, and I have to go and find everything in there. Because I'm using compression, I have spanners to do the tightening work. So I'm going to snip this out because I have something to clean the end of copper pipes. I have various fittings and what have you, and as I use up the bits, I'll throw them in there. I use this stuff for bonding pipes that are critical and inside places like that where I can't see them in a PTFE tape. I've not done a PTFE tape. I'm putting that in there. It's good stuff. I've been using it a long time. £4.99, and I've had that, I don't know, for a long time. There'll be a date on it somewhere. And it's not gone off. It's not gone off. There's a date on it. Anyway, by the by, and that's just full of fittings. And what I'm putting on are 2 of them. So if I put that there, now you've got to remember that one thing, these lengths inside these are different. The length inside that side is different to the length inside that side. So if I take that off, for integrity, to make sure that it fits properly, I'm going to have to cut this pipe. I'm going to have to cut that pipe and put one of them in here, because I can't trust that fitting to go on the end of this, because those fittings, the different lengths, inside there, that fitting is not the same. You think it is? You think you can just get one product from one place and put it on there? It won't fit, because you'll have a little gap inside there, and this is a compression fitting. You want that fitting to go in there solid. You want your end of your pipe to be in there solid, because you've got to put an insert in plastic pipe. If you don't put that insert in, you're going to regret it. So you have to buy the inserts as well. There they are, look. Get a stock of inserts. If you don't get them, go back to wherever you bought them from and get the inserts. I've I've got a mirror so that I can get some light into a subject or whatever, or see the joint behind when I clean copper. You see I've cleaned the copper there from old, took all the insulation, old spray foam insulation. That's the first time I used it. I've never used it again. Instruction sheets, all kinds of stuff in there, all sorts of junk. And this is one thing that I do not leave anywhere. I don't leave that out, because without that I can't do all these little cuts, right? Or a hacksaw. I generally use that, and it takes forever because plastic pipe's often, it doesn't cut it. It's hard to cut plastic pipe with this thing. Okay, keep that clean. Keep it clean, look after it. Put it on something else, right? So I've got to be careful with the mirror. It's my pride and joy, that mirror, you know. It isn't, but I'm attached to every little thing. 22 as well, so all the 22 fittings are here. Everything, you know. I don't keep the 22 fittings inside here though. I might keep those plastic fittings in there, but the 22 fittings are in a separate one. I don't set in my ways. I try to keep organised. Watching it in real time. I'm a messy bugger, and I don't care. I even have little bits of off-cut pipe. These are the top of these taps. I mean, they keep losing them. Put them in there. I don't need that. I don't know what it is. They're the taps. Take that out. I have these as well, just in case I can't get it. All different sizes. Diamond drill. I've got another one of them, but it's got a missing piece, so I'll need to find it. There it is. Olives. And I don't use. I'll show you something. I don't use these olives. This olive will not crush up properly. They don't crush. So I don't use these ones that are smooth. I'll show you which ones I use. Let me have a look, see if I can find it. I use that type. I buy them separate. That's why they're all out here. What you get in the joint, what you get in these joints when they come, is that you'll get that. And you'll find it impossible to crush onto a plastic pipe. It just doesn't do it. It might crush onto copper, but it won't crush onto plastic. I can't get it to crush. Right, so if I lose one of them, I'll just take it off a whole one. I'm going to need that whole one, and I want to cut it there. I want to cut that there, and I want to put that connection in, so that I can get that shifted over and take that end off of there. There's ways and means, you know. All plumbers have a ways and means of doing their work. And I was doing plumbing. I'm not joking. I would apprentice to a guy when I was like 8, 9 years old, and I was doing lead swipe joints with a blow lamp, with a paraffin blow lamp, and a bit of card and fries, green, bloody solder flux. And I used to do swipe joints. He showed me how to do it. I went round with him. I used to do all the lead piping. That's why I'm crazy now. You know, of course I did lead piping. I used to eat it, you know. Right, that had entropy happen to it. And what happened is there's a spare cutting wheel, just like that one. And the one on the outside rotted. But the one on the inside there, also, you hear it? It's in there. It also rotted. When I took it out, it shattered. It just rotted away. Got 2 of these. Draper Expert. You know, you buy it, you use it, don't matter what it's called. Anyway, this one's $8.50 now. So I'm going to get on with this, because I can't get anything done with doing videos. I can't. So anyway, that's what I keep in this jar. Now I've got mountains and mountains of copper fittings downstairs. They're brass and copper fittings, and they're all put away in tubs, big tubs. Right, they're all boxed away. I don't like them lying around, so this is just the meagre bit that I have, the ones that go with me, my travelling box. You know, your day box or whatever you want to call it. You know, people have a word for it. I wonder what that is. Oh, I know what that is. You forget, don't you? Pens and everything. Tap washers. Bits of ends. I use them for measuring. To do a 90 or whatever, and I get that, and I put it in, and that gives me an idea. Can you see how these form different lengths? Can you see that? Can you see they don't go to the same place? And that's because, what I was saying to you, every one of these joints makes a different length end, a different one. observe it. If you're a plumber, you'll know, but if you don't, you're not a plumber, you won't know. You won't know that but the back end of this tap makes a different joint. It makes a different length connector to the olive. On one side, you think that's seated when you don't know. You never know that that's seated or not, right? You never know that that's seated all the way down there. And then this one, you put that in there trusting it, and it might be actually stuck off the surface. Can you see? It's not bottomed out. No matter what I do, that's not bottomed out. You'll think that's bottomed out, but it hasn't. And you put your thing on and nut it, and no matter what you do, that will never seat, because it's designed to go. It probably not on this. It was probably made across a joint, one of these. You know, you've got to watch out for these little foibles of taps and things. So what you do, how you do it, you put that on one of them. You push it inside there. Then can you see that mark? Can you see it? You push that in there, and it gives you a mark, right? And you write on. You see that arrow? If it's coming that way and you can't see the arrow, you put the arrow on a bit of masking tape or whatever, and you draw the arrow on so you know which end that is. And then the other end, when you've got it and you bring it in, you draw the arrow on, pointing the way that whichever way the arrow is going, you point to put it on the other one. So you've got it coming this way on one and then going out the other way, so that you know which end this goes. If you swap that wrong way around, it won't fit. Never fit. It won't go in. And I don't know anywhere that do that. So here we go. I'm going to start plumbing. See ya.